Good morning, everyone. Apa khabar? How are you today? I hope you are well, staying safe and healthy. I am Terry Lim. I will be your host for this event. First of all, I would like to say thank you so much to all of you for joining us today in MFA Engagement 2.0. While waiting for other friends to join, let's interact for a while. You can say hi, you can respond to us or to the rest of the audience here through the chat box. Sudah makan sarapan? Okay, so guys, please tell me, where are you online from? From the office, from home, or from Mama store? Okay, selamat pagi. Oh, Jalan Kucing. From home, okay. That's good. I assume now no longer work from home ya. Semua sudah balik office kerja. From PJ, hi. Daniel, morning Daniel. Lagi siapa? Hi Lu. Hi everyone. Hi Asmil. That's good. You, Thomas. Boot Noodle, hi. Hi everyone, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Mama office. Okay. That's good. Glad to hear everyone are here in good health. Okay, before we start, let me begin by giving you some safety announcement. All right, so number one, we stick to 2020 rule, which is 2020 rule. What is 2020 rule? Is it to take break from screen use from every 20 minutes. So focus on something which is 20 feet away, about 6 meters away, or look at it for 20 seconds. Number two, check your prescription. If your prescription is longer suffix, you may want to get a new spec or to prevent blurry vision or headaches. If it helps, see if you could get eye drop or artificial tears that are known to help replenish the moisture of your eyes needs. Minimize display gray. If you can, position your screen to prevent gray. For example, try to angle it far away from the window. Or if you have a fluorescent lights above you, you may find that they have been causing overhead glare. In those cases, substituting, say, lights with a desk lamp can help reduce that effect. Just be sure to tip your lamp in a way that minimizes gray too. Alternative, an anti-gray screen or matte screen protector that can help you banish gray for some distant length. Number four, adjust screen display. Ensure that your screen is in Goldilocks region in luminosity and contrast. Your screen will be too bright if the white background on it resembles a source of light himself, or too dim if it looks grayish. Your eyes will experience more strain when contrast between the text and background if it's very jarring. Check your ego. We suggest you keep your computer screen 2 feet away from your eyes or 4 to 8 inches below eye level. In an ideal dimension, you will consider leveling your laptop to meet the above recommendations. Number 6, exercise, relieve, and move your eyes muscles. We suggest you always blink your eyes, release your eyes due to low moisturization, or an even more efficient way is actually persuade your body to rise or walk about, which could help your eyes look at the distance things or move around. Find a space that fits you. Place your feet on the flat floor. A good base on support keeps your core engaged without you actively having to think about it. No more swinging your feet while you are sitting or hooking them around your chair legs. Place them on the flat floor in front of you. Keep level. Position your feet, forearm tight and chin above level while sitting to study or using your electronics. Increase the awareness of these details to avoid pitchings and stretch on the tissues throughout the body. Number 9, get up and move. Every 30 minutes, choose to walk around the space and do some stretching for at least 30 seconds. The movement of your muscle, heart, lungs increase the circulation of your nutrients in your body. Drink some water every time when you get up to keep your body hydrated and your brain focused. Last but not least, provide a pillow. Make sure you place the pillow on your back to help you sit upright with the correct posture to avoid pain and numbness in the waist and back. But please don't fall asleep, yeah? Because today we have so much to learn from our speaker. That's all. I hope the safety announcement will benefit you. So are you guys ready? All right, okay. So we will continue after this video. Once again, thank you so much to all of you for spending your time to be here today. I'm Terry Lim. I will be the hosting for this section from the beginning to the end of the program. For your information, the purpose of this program are to strengthen the relationship with the members and industrial players as a platform to connect to all members, industry players, and publics, to exchange knowledge, experience, and ideas to improve the business strategy and expansion. Ladies and gentlemen, today we will be sharing a very interesting topic that related with our business expansion. It is franchise recruiting through trade shows. I'm sure everyone is aware there are so many physical events such as exhibitions, roadshow, conference, and so on schedule. And yes, almost 2 years, we are unable to have face-to-face meeting due to the COVID-19 outbreak attack in the whole world. It's crippled the operations and growth of our business and had a very serious adverse effect on our finance. Now is the best time to restart your engine. Ladies and gentlemen, the physical event is a very important channel to our business. This is one of the best promotion channels to build networks, meetings, business matching to grow your business too. It doesn't matter whether franchise business or not. This is because through this kind of event, we can meet, discuss, and share the real picture of our business. And it's more convincing to the investor and to the buyers direct to the success deal. This is an advantage at the exhibition event compared to others promotional channel. So how do we use this channel to grow our business? I'm sure you have your own strategy to grow your business, but today we want to highlight and share tips and tricks to expand the business through trade show event. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to feature 3 panel speakers who will be sharing their experiences and knowledge in growing the business through trade show event. So let's begin the show. For the first topic, I would like to invite someone who has intensive experience in business development locally and abroad. Mr. Khairul Azam, Chairman of Subcommittee Promotion and Public Relations. Mr. Khairul Azam was born in Teluk Intan, Perak in July 1973. He is a director of international franchise Mary Brown Sdn Bhd. He has been with Mary Brown since 2003 and has 20 years of experience in F&B field. Started his career in the operation divisions and continued his career as head of training division and head of franchise divisions. He managed all Mary Brown outlets for 6 countries in operations, training, marketing, and business extension, including Sweden, Africa, UAE, India, Indonesia, Brunei Darussalam, and Singapore. He is regularly invited to be one of our panel speakers in the franchise training program since 2017. He has appointed as a chairman of Subcommittee Promotion and Public Relations in 2019 to date. Please welcome Mr. Khairul Azam, the chairman of Subcommittee Promotion, Public Relations, MFA, and International Director of Mary Brown Sdn Bhd. Mary Brown. Good morning, Mr. Khairul.
Good morning, Terry. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for the introduction and unexpected video introduction as well. And thank you for doing so much research and then everyone knows my age. Thank you so much.
please, sorry for that. All right, I just
no problem.
The secretary give me your biodata, and such been a long time in this F&B industry. Okay, so now just want to get some updates. Where is the latest opening Mary Brown branches recently?
Oh, all right. Actually, last weekend we opened our 203rd outlet in Kapar Klang. All right. So for those who are staying somewhere nearby, please do come. And today we are open a drive-through at Bypass Kuantan. So it's the entire team is there right now. Yeah, only I'm alone in the office.
Congratulations to all your new opening branches. And okay, are you ready for your presentation?
Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay, then good. Then okay, so I will leave this section to you for you to cover the topic preparation for trade show events. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Khairul.
All right, thank you once again, Mr. Terry, and thank you to MFA. It's honored to be one of the panel speakers today. And this is the second engagement session since the last one was last year. So my name is Khairul. So I'm International Director of Mary Brown. why I'm here. I'm just to share my little experience actually when talking about franchising. All right. So as everyone aware, for the last 2 years, it's like the most challenging time. All right. So it's restrict some of our marketing. I'm talking about the franchise marketing. Okay. So however, even like quiet during the last 2 years, but I'm sure that, we need to still sustain business. Okay. I'm speaking about the franchise. We can't just stop our expansion even during difficult times. So we know that the last 2 years, we can't even have so much in terms of the physical movement and all these things. So basically most of the company, they are shift to, online kind of virtual exhibition and all this thing. But I'm pretty much sure you have to agree with me, the impact of doing this, compare the physical and the online is slightly different because, people are less in terms of, the experience, like one-to-one sessions and all these things. So it's quite restricted when we're talking about online if you compare on the physical. All right. All right. So speaking about today, I'm going to have the topic which is talking about the preparation of exhibition or trade show or trade missions. There is nothing rocket science about it. It's pretty much very straightforward, so nothing much in terms of, what are the things. But what I'm going to share with you is like, those are my little experience, all right, when we are having franchise shows, whether it's here in Malaysia or even in overseas, trade mission and overseas, right? I think yesterday, when I saw back, I opened my drawer, I check back on my those lanyard and tag when every time we enter the exhibition, so I'm collecting those things. So I checking, it's like I counted almost like 100 over tags with me. So I'm like, oh my goodness, that so many exhibitions and all these things. So I think there's so much experience. I think 20 minutes given to me now, I think that's not enough for me to cover the entire things, right? So, but back to the franchise, when we're talking about exhibition, okay, it leads back to each franchise company. I'm pretty much sure that you have your very own franchise marketing yearly planner, all right? So from there, I'm thinking you sit down with your team, entire structures and how you set up your goal and objective and KPI, for every year, what kind of targets, how many franchisee that you need to recruit for the entire year, all right? And okay, and also talking about your international expansion, how many countries, and all these things, right? So that is going to be your first KPI, and from there, then only you lay down, all right, what kind of different channel that how you can bring leads, and then how you convert the leads to your potential franchisees, right? So I'm pretty much sure when thinking about a different channel, when you do the franchise marketing, so exhibition is something that we can't get rid of, when we're talking about the franchise business, okay? Even though it sounds like very traditional, but I think this is a must. For us, for 41 years company doing franchising for almost 30 over years, okay, we have been participated in every single exhibition. I'm talking about local or even international, depending on which our directions, all right? So I think even with the biggest and the largest franchise show here in Malaysia, which is FIM, Franchise International Malaysia, we has been joined since the first inceptions, like 28 or 29 years ago. So I think this year is going to be our 28th editions with FIM, you see. So once we already have what do you call it, the target, the specific targets, all right, talking about where, when, okay, what kind of shows you're going to enter, all right. So I will share with you a simple slide I prepared for today, which will tell you actually, people are asking me, all right, so what kind of shows that we're supposed to go in, right? So because I'm pretty much sure that out there is, there's a established brand, franchise brand for many years. They have a very strong team, like Global Art, Old Town, Smart Readers, this is all the pioneer brand in Malaysia. All right, they also already expand their brand abroad, other countries as well. All right, but when we're talking about a new emerging brand, like novice brand, they have just started doing franchise and all these things. So they are, about to ask, okay, what are the main directions? Well, there's so many shows coming up. They're being approached by many organizers. Hey, please come and join our shows and all these things. So they need to really have a focus, okay? But again, when we're talking about franchise marketing, do not forget about what kind of budget you're going to put into it, all right? And also talking about the return of investment for every exhibition that you enter, all right? Okay, so when we're talking about the exhibition, so I think maybe you might heard about, there is about two different, how we differentiate in terms of franchise shows or trade shows, right? Either it's local or even in overseas. You might see that they call it B2B. So basically B2B is what you see is a term that used to describe a business relationship between at least two companies. So it's very much focus group. People know what they want. Okay, they look into it. At the end, they drop by to your booth, or maybe they call you in advance and make an appointment, to meet a specific team and all this thing. And they're already ready to to hear from your side and all these things. So it's very much like a very focused group. So there is a shows, like established shows, something like Franchise International Malaysia. So this is what we call it a B2B. And usually the B2B, they will use a right platform and also a very privileged venues, to carry up and bring extra mileage, when we have this type of trade shows. Okay. The second one, we call it a business to consumer. So I'm pretty much sure when we're talking about business, okay, even though you're a franchise business, right? So specifically, you're targeted with two groups, right? Number one is talking about your potential franchisees. That's why we are keep on recruiting a new franchisees. And the second one, we're talking about how you want to market your brand to the consumer or even the end user. So it's the term used to describe a business or relationship between one company to an individual consumer or to the end users, right? So for example, you can see that people give some samples and all this thing, let public knows about your brand, that this is actually how you can increase in terms of your market shares and also brand awareness into the market. So there will be two different type of shows. And if you're talking about B2C, usually, the venues is where you can see more traffic flow. So I think you can see right now we have a few road shows going on, and they choose strong venues like the shopping malls, where they set up the booth at the concourse area. When the visitors of the mall, they can see, they can drop by, they can ask questions, they can give some sample of the product, something like this, right? So there's two different things, B2B and B2C. Okay, so this is actually how we differentiate, when you plan to go for any trade shows, exhibition, between B2B and B2C. Number one, of course, we're talking about the user groups for the B2B and versus the individual buyers. So user group basically is like more focused, like what I mentioned earlier. And individual buyer can be your potential franchisee. It may be a young entrepreneur, someone would like to start the business, they drop by to your booth, ask you a lot of questions, all these things, right? And it can be someone actually, they maybe just want to try your products, or you become your new customers. So it can be both sides, all right? And we're talking about the detailed information versus like broad description. So normally when called B2B, so it's much more focused. So people are talking about business, people talking about the investment, what kind of cost, what kind of return on investment and all these things. So basically it's more like directly to your business model. Okay, when it comes to B2C, basically it's talking about your products, right? Your promotion, what's your latest things going on and all these things, okay? And of course, we're talking about the rational and emotional. We're talking about this both because based on who are the target group that's coming in during the particular exhibition. And speaking about the package or the price that we speak during this both exhibition is slightly different, because B2B, we are talking about your entire package. People talking about starting from 500,000 or 1 million kind of investment, whereby we're talking about we don't scare off our people or customers or coming to the B2C telling about the 1 million investment. So basically we just let them know about our brands and all these things. So it's much more like more casual kind of trade missions, all right? And of course, speaking about the group, that are your potential people or whoever that come and drop by to your booth, when talking about B2B, it can be large scale companies, compared to the personal use for your B2C. All right, and definitely when people are well enough and prepared enough to invest in any franchise brand, they are talking about a longer sales cycle. Okay, because it's not going to be like you will never conclude or seal the deal during that particular event. All right, you will continue. I'm not going to touch much on this part because I think later on the second panel speakers, our friend Mr. Paul will share more basically how you convert those leads into your potential franchisees. All right. And of course, when we're talking about the B2C, it's more like shorter sales cycles because people are talking about the brand and then what kind of products and all those things. So it's very much shorter cycle, all right? And of course, more serious, more educational when we're talking about B2B, compare like, it's more fun because of, maybe because of the venue and also the environment of the entire trade shows, all right? And of course, longer customer relationship, we believe, okay, not to, feel demoralized if you can't really seal a deal when you have a first meeting during the first exhibition. It can be a follow-up thing. I still remember in 2017, that's during the FRM at KLCC, we meet one, there's a young couple drop by to our booth and asking about our standard thing, what kind of package, investment, and all these things. So then we get back their contacts, all right? We call them, and after that, it's like, silent. So we thought that maybe there's a normal leads, yeah? So it's like, and just like that, you see? But back in 2018, so it took about maybe almost 8 months after the previous shows. All right, the couple coming back and then call us and say, oh, look, we want to meet you. We want to meet with your team. We want to know more about the investment and all these things. So Alhamdulillah, all right, we managed to open the first outlet from this couple that we recruited from the FRM in 2017. They opened their first store early 2019. And right now, the same couple owns 6 Mary Brown in the entire Klang Valley. You see? So look at this. So this is something like you will never know that someone who drop by to your booth, it can be your potential franchisees, and it can be a potential, running a multiple stores of your brand. Okay. So of course, it doesn't, sound so easy. Of course, there's need a lot of support, from the franchisors, and also how that we engage with them and how we assist them in terms, to scout where is going to be good locations, for their brand expansions. Okay. And of course, when we're talking the last part, the difference between B2B and B2C, we're talking about the higher acquisitions cost, okay, because when we talk about B2B, we expected more high-end client or potential investor or visitors who drop by to our booth, because usually we're going to have also international visitors and all these things. So how we set up the entire booth, which I will share with you later on, is going to be slightly different, which slightly involve more cost if you compare with the B2C. Because normally B2C is pretty much a very straightforward setup. It's like maybe like standard shell scheme booth. Okay, so we just need to bring a few buntings, a few pictures of your products, brochures, flyers, and something like this. All right. So that is actually what we say a differentiate between B2B and B2C. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, now let's talk about the preparations of the exhibition. So people were thinking that, okay, exhibition is something very tiring, and people were thinking that it's only a franchise team, okay, involved 100% for this one. So it nothing got to do with other departments. So the answer is wrong, because if you claim yourself as a franchise brand, all right, so this is going to be you have to mark the calendar. It's one of the biggest events in your company, because if you didn't recruit any franchisees, so other department you can't move. Okay, what's going to do from your project team, so your marketing teams and all these things, right? So we need to recruit franchisees. So the involvement from every department is very, very important. All right. Of course, the franchise department will lead the entire shows and all this thing, do all the coordination, but we need a support, okay, collaborations, all right, and assistance from different departments to meet to meet the goals, all right, and to make sure that the show are the one which is can get a better ROI and all these things, right? So basically, we need a support, okay. Right, so I prepare here a very a very simple checklist, okay, that we can go through later on, just to let you know that, okay, how basically we're gonna start. For example, now we have FRM. Of course, it's like 3 more months, right? Somewhere in September. So we should start the checklist now, okay? Even though it's not too late, but it's supposed to be start like much more earlier. Okay, so usually we try to talking about 12 months or at least 1 year in advance. Once you already identify the shows that where you want to go in, once you already have a specific budget, okay, so then someone, basically your training, the franchise department, you have to lead the entire thing. You need to take the ownerships to start this particular trade shows. All right. So first, book your exhibition stand. I'm pretty much sure all the organizers will start blast the email, invite you to join the exhibition and all this thing. They even share with you what kind of, how's the layout, how is the success story from the previous event, how many editions of this exhibition, all these things. So begin by booking your space at the show. And my advice, get it in advance, because normally you don't want to miss the early bird promotion, the discounting, which I think is you add more values to it, right? So the best exhibiting spot at the top shows sell quickly. So it's like hotcakes. So plan well and ahead. It can also be useful to understand the benefits that the exhibiting can bring. So normally you need to do a lot of studies and all these things. Of course, a show, the established show like FIM and all these things. So I think you can always cross-check with the MFA Secretariat and all these things, or go to the website, all right? Second, review your exhibition show objective. Be clear about what you want to achieve at these shows. So do not give your team a pressure by, once we do the exhibition, okay, this is my investment. Okay, I want to make sure that you recruit 20 franchisees or 50 franchisees, all right? So you need to be more tangible, more, more realistic in terms of your specific target, because you don't want to give more pressures and all those things, right? So basically you will know during the exhibition, it's not only talking about sell, recruit, franchise. Okay, there are so much things actually you can gain, all right? Which is, I think, later on our vice chairman, Mr. Derek, will share with you, what are the benefits that you will get when you enter and start exhibitions, all right? Okay, set your budget. Think carefully about your return on investment. So be realistic, I want to mention early, ensure that you include all those hidden extras, for example, like those lighting and all this. So this is depending on what kind of package that you enter, all right? If you go for the normal shell scheme booth, okay, so basically they will provide you all the entire basic facilities, right? But when you have extra budget, you might want to go to build your own prototype stores, all right? So you need to have a bare space. So if you have a bare space, what kind of drawing you have to go through into it, and then you need to get from the organizer or the official contractors what kind of extra M&E or power, to fix into it. So that's the reason why we need a collaboration with a different department, like a project team, your official contractors and all these things, to make sure that they know what is your objective to enter that particular shows, okay? Right. And of course, you need to check your paperwork, review all requirements and the deadlines. Okay, because when we're talking about the exhibition, that's why you need a dedicated officers or someone to handle the whole thing, because there are so much communications going on. All right. So email flying here and there to remind you and what other things you need to do, because it's not only talking about set up the whole thing, right? You're talking about the marketing things you need to do. All right. You need to talk so much things, there are a lot of briefings going on and all these things. Okay, so this is talking about the first, what I call it, a timeline on top of the checklist. All right. So moving next, you can see that, okay, once you already decide, once you already participate, you already registered, you already paid, all these things. So now it's the time for you to decide on a scheme. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, okay, depend on what kind of booth or package that you go for it. All right. If you go for the bare space, so basically you need to have entire designers, to come up with, what kind of booth that you want to do, what kind of color scheme, the concept, and all these things. Some of the company will take advantage to introduce a new concept during the exhibition. So they will set up the prototype exactly like how the new concept is going to look like, right? So there are many different options for the exhibition stand itself. So, and your choice will be largely influenced by your budget. So therefore, talk to several stand contractors. So you can, there are many contractors available out there, all right? You can always check with the secretariat of the particular shows. Of course, MFA team also, they do have a few contractors, been working with them for many years, all right? So then you can get some advice, the best advice from this particular group, okay? Choose your exhibition stand contractors, all right? So shop around to see who can offer you the best value. Of course, you can cross-check the background and how they set up the previous shows, with the different companies, all right? So this is it's good for you to choose and select the best contractor that you want, okay? And some of the company, even like Mary Brown, whenever we have any new shows like this, we do have our in-house designer. So we use our designer to come up with the 3D design, what we want to do into our booth. What are the things that we need to add in, and what kind of content that we want to put into our booth. So everything we speak internally, and we also engage with our appointed contractor who used to build all our Mayor Brown across Malaysia. So we use the same team actually to assist us to set up for our exhibition, to set up our booth during the exhibitions, right? Start planning your exhibition stand, okay? Brief your contractor. Of course, you're gonna have a few set of meeting internally on your vision for your exhibition stand. So basically you will talk to them, okay, why we need these colors and all this thing, okay, how many number of tables, chairs and all this thing, whether we need to have, different machines to bring in, heavy duty machines, something like this, all right? So, and also you have to remember if you are dealing with the F&B and you want to, to cook at the expo ground, so you need to check with the organizers, okay, whether they are allowed to have heavy cooking, all this thing, or any additional power that you need due to the heavy machine you're going to use during the exhibition, and where is going to be your disposal area and all these things. So some places, like privileged places like KLCC Convention Center, so they're quite straight on that. So please do check with the organizers, okay? Right, now we are moving next towards almost there, okay? The timeline is going on, TikTok, so about 6 months before the show. Consider the finishing touch. So don't forget about the important elements. For example, like lightings, furnitures, heavy equipment, and also your stand contractor should be able to advise you on this. Whatever that you plan in advance, okay, it can be some slightly changes. So you have to always well prepare plan A and plan B and all these things, because sometimes when I still remember when we tried to build our booth back in 2016 during that time. So we have additional, the facade is slightly taller. So then, after we submit the drawing and the KLCC Convention Center, feedback to us, no, you can't exceeding how many feet and all these things. So we have to do some adjustment on that, okay? So you have to be aware on this as well, all right? Plan product samples and giveaway. I tell you, everyone loves free samples, all right? So all the visitors, even though regardless what kind of position, all these things, whenever they have something to bring it back, which is, I think it's something to remember, all right? So allow yourself plenty of time to think about these and get them ready in advance. So basically you need to plan with your logistics team or your purchasing team to prepare, what kind of things that you need to bring, okay? And not to forget, okay, sometimes, you need to take care, because you have the space, okay? And you're gonna use the space for the next 3 days, all right? You don't want your space to be overcluttered by having so much curtains, you're hiding every corners, so it will look messy, okay? For the visitors, when they look at your, your booth and all things, it has to be very clean cut, you don't expose any curtains box outside in all this thing, because it will show the professionalism that how well actually you organize. Even the small exhibition during the 3 days, it can reflect your entire operations, all right? So be careful on that as well, okay? Choose your exhibition team. This is very important, yeah? The number of people that you need will depend on the size of your stand, okay, of course. But I think average 3 to 4 is very important. But who are these people, all right? Definitely your franchise team has to be there, because they know what, how to sell and all this, how to market. But again, as I mentioned earlier, this is not talking about the one department show, all right? It's talking about the collaboration. Please do remember, I'm sure that every one of our friends here, and like Mr. Terry, Mr. Derek, they already participate in so many exhibitions. We know that people come approach us or visit our booth during the exhibition. It's not only the potential leads or potential investors or potential franchisees. There are marketing people, there are developers, there are suppliers who will also take advantage to sit down, to exchange contacts, build networks and all these things. Okay, so it's a venue for the business networking. All right, so it's good to bring additional team just for 3 days. Shut down your office, come help us and all this thing. All right, so if someone from the marketing, someone from the developer, so you can link, okay, this is the right officer, please have a talk with them and all these things, right? Because this shows that how basically you value every single visitor. It's not like you turn off, no, you are a developer, sorry, I'm only franchise, I don't know anything, all right? So this shows that professionalism, okay? Right, if your office or your headquarters away from the exhibition ground, so basically you also need to consider to book in advance into how your accommodation and also the logistic, not only for the to transport all the materials that you're going to bring to the exhibition ground, but we're also talking about the people. All right, you need to prepare the hotels. All right, so when you book the hotels, it has to be like within how many kilometer away from the expo ground. All right, so this is also the part of the list that you have to take into considerations. Arrange the logistic, plan how you will get everything to the venue. Right, so basically there is an operation teams, or maybe your logistic or your project team will assist you on that part. So you need to set up like a temporary WhatsApp group to ease for your communications. Okay, right. 3 months before the show, so sign off your exhibition stand design to production to begin. So basically, once already all your 3D drawings is done, so you have to submit to your contractors, and they will do all the things. So they will liaise directly with the organizer and the official contractors, get the badge and everything. So you're gonna have a schedule when you want to loading and so on and so forth. All right. Basically, big exhibition at the big venues like KLCC Convention Center, they will come out a schedule for you. All right, when the official contractor can go in and how long you have to settle down and everything. So that's the reason why you need to really appoint experienced contractors, because they know the movement and all these things, right? So let people know that you are exhibiting. Okay, so this is a job for more like a franchise team, because you can't just sit down there and wait for someone to drop by to your booth, right? So what you need to do, sometimes you have to do pre-marketing activities like I'm sure you have your own database customers, and also investors, or maybe the leads that you collect before. Okay, so it's a good platform that for you to blast back again. Do invite them. Okay, look, we're gonna exhibit during this particular exhibition from when to when. All right, please do come visit us. You can show how your booth is look like, all these things, right? So at least you do something in terms of to promote the shows, and you bring the potential what we call franchisees to visit your booth and meet one-to-one. All right. Check your travel arrangement and accommodation again to make sure that everything's on order. So it's always a good idea to confirm any bookings that you have made. This is also will give you a peace of mind and allow you to concentrate on the other important things during the exhibition checklist. Okay. And the final weeks before the show, so you have to prepare the team. You already identify who are the teams, all right? So, and also it's good to have a briefing with them. Okay, what kind of expectation? What is your KPI for these particular shows? How many franchises do you think they would recruit? All right, and also you will share with maybe a new team, newbies in your companies. They just joined. They maybe their first time to participate in this exhibition. I'm sure they are very much excited. But again, all right, you have to tell them what kind of visitors will drop by to your booth and what kind of common questions and all these things, how to answer it back. Okay, because sometimes when people, this is actually also part of what we call it like competition, because we have so many booths inside the same hall, right? So if the visitors, upset because the officer unable to give a right answers, questions and all this, they unable to attend all the questions. So it will narrow down in terms of your preference. So be careful on that part as well. So make sure that whoever stand on main the booth, it has to be someone that very knowledgeable, that know how to answer and add value to the exhibition. Okay, set up a system to collect information from every lead. So you can use a very typical way, or traditional way by collecting all the data, name cards, all these things. Or you also can have, prepare the sheet or name badge scanner, which is much more easy for you to collect all the database and much more faster. Okay, check and confirm logistic with your contractor. Basically, you will hand over to your project team to assist you on how you're going to set up the whole thing. But some of the franchisors, they also have hand carry things. So then you have to make sure that how you're going to carry to transport into your exhibition booth. Right. Okay. So there about the exhibition. So I already go through all these things. So I already go through on the how you set up. Okay, basically it's all about the checklist, how you do the follow up, how you do the ownership to make sure that exhibition, how success you want to be. All right. So yes, obviously every show is different. So you may think of other things, but focusing just now I share with you, Mr. Terry, is basically more like I'm talking about local. Okay, yes. When you go for international exhibition abroad, okay, they are slightly different in terms that you have to be more careful because you need to know about your accommodation, things like that, especially when you go to the country that you have never been before, right? You need to check on the visa, okay, and also you need to think how many things that you want to carry over there because you can't carry exactly the entire, materials of what you have in Malaysia, you see. So you have to limit, but it has to be more fruitful when you bring those things when you exhibit in overseas, all right?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Khairul.
With that, thank you so much, Mr. Terry, and thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Me.
I think you can share more in the Q&A session later. Okay, thank you once again, Mr. Khairul, for the sharing. And Mr. Khairul is right. Before we participate in any exhibition event, we need to make sure all the necessities are already available. And there's so much to learn from Mr. Khairul, but I'm afraid the time is very limited. But okay, if let's say the audience here, if you have any questions to Mr. Khairul, you can drop in our chat box, and later we can, in the Q&A section, we can ask Mr. Khairul. So once again, thank you, Mr. Khairul. Ladies and gentlemen, for the next topic, I would like to invite another great person, has opened so many branches and conquered several Asian countries in a short time through exhibition. Mr. Paul Ang, Chairman of Subcommittee, National and International Relations. Mr. Paul Ang is Managing Director of City Coin Laundry Sdn Bhd with the brand Laundry Bar. Mr. Paul, born in Kuala Lumpur in October 1974, graduated from the Associate of International Accountants in 1999 and Diploma in Taxation in 2002. He has been appointed as Chairman of Subcommittee National and International Relations in 2018 until now. He has served as consultant in Grand Transport Malaysia, providing audit, tax, and advisory services to the company. In addition, he has worked at Ernst & Young under Global Professional Services before introducing the Laundry Bar brand, which is offer franchise business packages to SME entrepreneurs. He and other partners managed to open more than 500 outlets, in Malaysia, Thailand, Brunei, and Turkey. City Coin Laundry Sdn Bhd has received so many awards, including SME 100 Awards in 2016, Nanyang Golden Eagle Award in 2017, and Xinqiu Award in 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Paul Ang, the Chairman of Subcommittee of National and International MFA and Managing Director of City Coin Laundry Sdn Bhd, Laundry Bar. Hello, Mr. Paul. How are you?
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So, yeah, thank you, host. Thank you, Terry, and thank you, MFA. Such a very, very beautiful video. Thank you so much.
Yes. Okay.
And I want to thank also all the participants who spend your time, your precious time to listen our sharing.
Yes.
Okay. Let me introduce myself. My name is Paul Ang. I am the founder and managing director of City Coin Laundry. Yeah. So we are doing self-service laundry, and currently we expand our business in various countries through exhibition. Like our host say, yeah, like just now the Mr. Khairul also sharing, exhibition is a platform. So it's very important that if you want to go international, exhibition is a must. Trust me. And many years ago, I think we are only able to do it locally. We are unable to expand until we participate the right platform to share our business opportunity and to share our charter, how to find business in overseas. And
Yes.
via this, we managed to find our franchisee in Thailand, Turkey, and also Brunei. And upcoming, we actually expand to Southeast Asia in other countries such as Philippines.
That's great. That's great. Congratulations, Mr. Paul.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, for that, I saw you have a new car there, right? So when want to bring me to Jalan-Jalan with your new car?
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure to bring Mr. Terry and also a member.
Okay,
Right.
okay, that's good.
Yeah, it's
So
our
we find one day. Okay, so all right. So ladies and gentlemen, without wasting time, I will leave this section to Mr. Paul. Are you ready, Mr. Paul?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So this section, Mr. Paul will share his tips and tricks on the topic lead generation and closing the deal. Mr. Paul, the section is yours.
Hi, thank you. I think we're going to share this session, and now I'm start sharing. Okay. As we know, you all have spent a lot of money to the exhibition booth. You all have spent a lot of resources.
Sorry, Mr. Paul. Sorry, just you need to open the full screen. On the full screen. Yes.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. As you know, every participant already spend a good budget on their exhibition. So that's why it's very important that you all must make use every resources, every single inquiry during the exhibition. And you will know sometimes, and you also will surprise, some of the inquiry is a good inquiry, some of them is maybe just a normal inquiry. But by doing so, you do not waste any opportunity. Like many years ago, when we are doing participate in any exhibition, I myself, me and also the other founder, also my wife, and both of us are standing during the exhibition, and we saw Cairo and also saw Mr. Derek, and this is how we actually started this exhibition, and this is how we participate and how we get our inquiry. So in summarize, so I will just accumulate my little experience to let you know how actually we close our deal and how we actually find our master franchise. So, okay, let me share with you. Okay, lead generation and closing deal in the exhibition. Okay, these are the follow-up system. Usually when you are in the exhibition, you will find a lot of people drop a name card, they will ask inquiry, they will fill up the form, they ask about your product. And you must have a good system to track, to organize those information without wasting any resources, any inquiry. And this is something that I want to share is, when people are making inquiry, means he got the heart, want to know about your product. By showing that, you will continue to have a good passion to follow up what are the inquiry, what they want to know, and do not simply just throw a name card away, or even though they just ask a very, very simple question. Do you know that a lot of master franchise that be successful deal is because they ask a simple question? Sometimes they ask a simple question, they just want to test you, how you react as a franchisor, as a brand owner, and we call it as a famous brand. They will ask you a simple question. That's why you need to know that do not waste any opportunity, any name card. Okay, basically they are the 7 steps. First thing, once you collect the data or once you collect the lead, there are 7 steps you need to know. First thing is to make the contact and build rapport. The second is you have a quality compatibility. The third thing, you must analyze the prospect need. The fourth thing, you must pitch your product. The fifth thing, you need to deliver the proposal. The sixth is negotiate. The 7th is close the deal. Okay, let me break into the one by one. Okay, first thing, to make the contact and build rapport. Okay, these are what going to happen during the exhibition. You need to collect the name card from your visitor. Okay, the visitor try as much as you can, as possible as you can, collect all those name cards, and those name cards you need to pass to your marketing team to hand over, and after the marketing organized, must hand over to the sales team, and without the delay, your sales team need to contact those people who drop by your booth. You know why their memory is still fresh. It's very important that you make a fast contact to them. Either send them a messages or send them your name card or something, so that make them to remember you. That is very important. So, and of course, you need to ask some important questions, such as who will be responsible for deciding of the product, and it's good to deal directly with the decision maker, because some of them, they come just a representative of the company. It's not the owner, or it's not a person who want to invest. So it's very important. You must ask who will be the person who decided to buy. And the second thing is, you need to ask them the question, how do you heard about your business? So sometimes they visited a lot of books, a lot of way, they go to a lot. So it's very important you ask your prospect how you heard about you, then you need to direct them to your social media and website, so that they understand more about your information, understand more about your product. That's why your social media, your website is very important. Spend a good budget, build a social media, and also build your website. Because this one, you not only are able to attract local customer, but international customer, to show how good you are, what asset you are. That is very crucial, especially you are doing franchising or you want to attract master franchise. Don't save this kind of small money, because you're going to lose an empire. Okay. Then the third thing you want to know, you must ask him or your prospect what are you looking at this exhibition? Are you looking for business opportunity, or are you looking for become a master franchise or become a franchisee, or you just want to buy the product? So that is very important. You must identify clearly your marketing team, your sales team, so that only that you were able to provide them a right and correct information. Because nowadays consumer, they don't read a lot. They only read what they want. If you give them a lot unnecessary, at the end they will treat everything as rubbish. So give them a correct and accurate information, and straight to the point is very important. And last, for the point one, what is the best time to have face-to-face discussion? So when you already identified your prospect, I think it's good to take initiative, call them to have a meeting, to have a cup of coffee, to meet up with them, to negotiate with them. I think face-to-face discussion is the most effective way along my career in franchising. So I think the face-to-face discussion is very, very important. I think the first thing, must bring that to your office, your head office. That is the most important, to let them to see how strong you are, how reliable you are. If you are just a starter of master franchise without a proper office, like me, during 2013, I not even have a proper office, Year 2013, I not even have an office. My office is just a luggage. This is how I started my franchise. So I do a lot. So that's why I appreciate a lot. During my discussion of franchising, I did a lot in the old town, in Mary Brown, in KFC. I do a lot of this master franchise discussion. So, okay. So these are the point one. Okay, point two will be quality compatibility. So you must evaluate the prospect likelihood become a customer or the franchisee. So during the discussion, you must able to identify whether this candidate or this prospect is going to be a customer or a franchisee, or become just a normal user. And from there, you must evaluate their budget and how soon, what they want, and what product they are looking for. So that means that during the meeting, you must able to know, you must able to let them know. I mean, what kind of services they are looking, what kind of ROI, what kind of investment they are looking. So that is very important. And during the exhibition also, you must, I mean, this is based on my experience, must place an experienced marketing personnel, so that they can able to explain correctly all the information. They are able to explain, so that you won't waste your time, waste your resources by placing an inexperienced staff. At the end, you will lose a quality. This is my experience. So it's very, very important. Okay. Okay, next. Okay, next will be analyze your prospect need. So based on during the exhibition, your prospect may ask, are you selling something that he need or whether or what he want? So why there's a difference? One is desire, need is essential. So during the exhibition, if you want to be your franchisee or you want to be a master franchise, that is they make huge difference between need. I mean, basically, he just want to buy something that he needs, rather than he want to want this become the business opportunity. So it's very important that you're able to distinguish the lead, so that you can susun all your lead, then focus the right person to talk. So this allows you to understand your potential customer needs and pinpoint to ascertain how your services and product can address to them. So like I mentioned, knowing your customer want is very, very important. Knowing whether you want to be a franchisee, he looking for ROI, he looking for become a master franchise or franchisee, or just want to buy your product or services. So that is something that you need to ascertain. And another point is let your customer and prospect talk and create a discussion. Like I mentioned before, discussion talk is very important, even during the exhibition. That's why you must have a good table and chair so that you can sit down and talk together. Okay. Then the important highlight, what product or services are they using now? So maybe he already have attached to some other businesses, they are looking for a better service. They are looking for better, sometimes you are a competitor of him and him or her. So, but they are looking for something better. This is always happen in the laundry industry. So like some of our customers, they are using Laundry Bar brand now, but previously they have other laundry services to other people. So they are looking for comparison. So, okay. Then the second thing is how is working for them currently and how to improve them. Basically, they approach you, they must be something, especially those already have a business on franchising, the same industry. So this one, you as an exhibitor, you need to be careful on how you answer the question, answer the right question and provide them the right information. Okay, it's very important. Okay, the fourth point. Okay. Then after all sort of discussion, and you need to pitch your product and handle the objection. Because basically, throughout my experience, there is very seldom a customer, when you they approach you, they give them the proposal, they are accepting, they sign and make the payment. Very, very seldom. They will act like a professional. When you talk to them, they will try to object you, they will give you question, they give you the objection. Not just on the services, only the pricing, they will come up with all kind of reason. That's why handling objection from your prospect, list their concern and weaknesses of your product, highlight the strength and weaknesses of your product, and customer and user testimony. So when you face this kind of inquiry or prospect during the exhibition, how you handle them? They will ask you, oh, your product not good enough, your product not this, not that, but yet they can spend 2 hours talk to you, even though they tell you so many negative, but they can spend 2 hours. So this doesn't mean that they want something more from you. That's why my strategy is I always give testimony, my current user testimony, my current franchisee testimony, how is that their ROI, how is their feedback, So it's very important. You as an exhibitor, give some user or your existing franchisee testimony is very, very important. Play a video or even, at least your new prospect have something to refer. Franchisee talk with a new franchisee is more effective than franchisor talk to the franchisee. This is my experience. Okay, so remember, handle the objection correctly, professionally, you will get rewarded accordingly. If you're unable to handle their objection, sorry, the deal is gone. Trust me, you need to handle their objection. The more objection they get, the higher the reward you get. Okay. Okay, after you already settle all their objection, all their inquiry, and they're happy, it's a time for you to deliver the proposal. Okay, and of course you tailor-make what they want based on the request, the size of the shop, the size of the size of the product, and highlight the strength and weaknesses without twist and turn. Transparent is very important. When you exhibit any product, your customer is asking for something is very transparent. Based on throughout my experience, we do business very transparent to them. Yes means yes, no means no. Correct means correct. There's no half correct, there's no gray area. If you are the franchisor now, or you are an exhibitor now, you are going to be a franchisor, or you're selling something to a new prospect, remember, transparent is important. Don't twist and turn. Give them what they want, tell them honestly, show them what you have, and including the warranty, including the strength and weaknesses, your schedule, your warranty of product. And trust me, by doing that, you will save you a lot of problem after that. Your after sales problem will be cut down a lot, because if you are doing not transparent, end up you facing a lot of headache. Okay. Next, negotiation. This is the most interesting part, So I believe that a lot of franchisors, they are facing this, a lot of exhibitors, they're facing this. People always talk about price, your price is very expensive, your why people are selling this price and you're selling at this price, So of course, you as the experienced exhibitor or the franchisor, and my always skill is I negotiate on value. I'm not negotiate on the price. You can negotiate on the price, but put value on top of the price. Do not put price on top of value, because ultimately any business, anything you do, is the value determine the price, not the price determine the value. If you are experiencing buying a lot of product, you will know that if your price is too cheap, the quality might not be there. Demonstrate the value is very important. For example, how we demonstrate the value? People sign our franchise, then you tell the franchisor, you tell the franchisee, what is your ROI period? What kind of services you're able to provide? What kind of warranty? What kind of a marketing campaign? What are the testimony who already got the ROI? These are we call it as a value. By getting out the cheap product or cheap services, these don't have that, don't have. At the end, your investment is gone. This is how we demonstrate. Okay. Then the second point is to highlight your product strength and weaknesses. That one is very common. I mean, we have to highlight what we have and what we don't have. Okay. And the customer or your franchisee must fully understand the offer. That is very important before they sign up the order sheet. So that is very important. Make your customer understand, because I see a lot of franchisee before, and sometimes when they twist the question, how they turn the whatever you offer, it's a very good lesson. That's why make them understand what you offer. Okay. And last, how your product can improve the customer presentation. That is very important. This I can say is called value. How your value, your product, your franchise can improve their condition. For example, signing up your franchise, improve their financially. How you improve financially? Because your franchise is very good, able to provide a good ROI. Able to provide good ROI, able to save their time, that is a very crucial. At the end, we still have to ask the question, any patron or any visitor come to the exhibition, usually they're looking for a business opportunity. And at the end, what they're looking for in the business opportunity is still the ROI. No matter how sexy is your product, how attractive is your services, ROI is a must. There is no doubt about it. Okay. So after the go to a negotiation, then you close the deal. Okay. After that, your franchisee, your prospect, your customer understand all the term and condition from A to Z. This is the most sweetest moment. Betul Encik Cairo, Encik Derry. So these are the most sweet moment. Okay. Your customer, your franchisee understand all the term they sign, bagi agreement they sign. That is the most suited moment. Signing a deal, getting the down payment, and responsibility start. You as the master franchise, they become your children. So you have to bear a lot of responsibility. Okay. Thank you. So this is my little sharing. Okay. But wait,
Thank you so much, Mr. Paul.
Can give me a few moments, just 1 minute.
Yes.
I got some additional point for our patron here. It's beyond the scene.
Yes.
So if you have a pen, please write down. This something is going to be useful. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. As an exhibitor, you must have this kind of few attitude. You must have this few attitude. The first thing, how you serve the people who come and inquiry. That is the first impression. That is the very, very important. Exhibitor, please take note. The second is the speed of response. You need to be very, very fast. Speed of response. Okay. The third thing is the follow-up action. After you talk to them, respond to them, what is the next follow-up action? That is a must. Number 4 thing, that is the deciding point also. What is your unique selling point? It's very important. I believe that every franchisor have their own unique selling point. That's why you as an exhibitor, especially when you go to overseas, you must have a strong selling point. Okay, last but not least, when you are the master franchise or you are the franchisor, you will face this question. Some potential people, they will ask, why I want to use your brand? Why I want to use your brand? You as a master franchise or the brand owner or the franchisor, you must prepare to answer this question. Because they will ask, in Thailand, I also have laundry. In Thailand, I also have and fried chicken. Why I want to use why I want to use laundry? So be prepared of this answer, because during the exhibition, you will face this question. Okay, thank you very much. Good luck, everyone.
All right, thank you, Mr. Paul. Thank you for your master advice. All right, so yes, the thing that Mr. Paul shared a moment ago is very, very important, and this is we call follow-up system. If the system is good and it's applied in your business, it's very helpful in development of your business. So once again, thank you, Mr. Paul, for the tips. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the last presentation. And for this section, I would like to invite another person who is very experienced in business, especially in F&B. Let me introduce Mr. Derek to you, our Vice Chairman of Malaysia Franchise Association. Mr. Derek Yeo was born in April 26, Batu Pahat, Johor. He is the Chief Development Officer at Kopitiam Asia Pacific Sdn Bhd, Old Town White Coffee, and he has intensive experience in human resources and marketing. He holds a degree in modern language studies and computer science in University Putra, Malaysia, UPM. Started his career in human development for retail and F&B industries, human resources in strategies at conglomerate companies and franchise development, business development, and he was appointed as a member of main committee under subcommittee research and education in 2017 until 2019, and subsequently appointed as vice chairman of MFA in 2019 until now. So everyone, please welcome Mr. Derek, the vice chairman of MFA, to present the opportunities in FIM and continue with the closing remark. Hello, Mr. Derek.
Hi,
How are you?
good morning. Good morning, I'm good.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Well, you have been so busy after the pandemic, non-stop traveling here and there. So how's everything?
Very good, very tiring, but very motivating. Seeing
Alright.
the recovery of the business. Yes.
That's good. That's good. Good to know. All right. So I think you are ready for the presentation.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, just let
The
me.
voice is yours, Mr. Derek.
Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone. All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So I'm Derek, and today my role is the Vice Chairman of Malaysia Franchise Associations, and also the Franchise International Malaysia 2022 Chairperson. Thank you so much for the Secretary who is organizing this event and also these engagement sessions. So I think we have a lot of friends here today with us. So most of us are exhibitors going to be exhibiting in this coming Franchise International Malaysia, one of the largest exhibitions in Southeast Asia. Has been 29. This is the 29 years we are organizing this, and after 2 years, I think this is the first time we are going to have physical face-to-face exhibitions. So this event, I think this year it will be on 8 to 10 September, which is Thursday to Saturday, a little bit different. We are doing it on Thursday to Saturday, 3 days. Yeah. So we will be in KLCC Convention Center. All right. So this year, general a bit of information before I go into some of the pointers that Cairo and also Paul have shared just now. So probably a little bit of information of this year's event. It will be on the 8 to 10, as I mentioned just now, and the theme for this year will be spurring growth, rebuilding excellence. So I think this is just nice because we are just after the pandemic. Maybe we are in the process of going into endemic. So there's still a little bit of cases here and there. So, but then we are seeing the recovery of the industry, I mean the market. But we also have a lot of challenges that we are facing. But this is the right timing for us to expand our business. Not only that, we can also see that there's a lot of people looking for businesses after the pandemic. Even during the pandemic, they have already made plans. So I think this is a right platform for us to exhibit, to get more partners to join us in our business. Yeah. So this year, we are targeting to have 150 booths. I think at the moment, we have already closed more than 100 booths already. I think it is a very good achievement this year, and a lot of support from different exhibitors from different parts of the world. We are estimating we will be getting around 14,000 of visitors this year. Hopefully, we can get more visitors to our show. Right. So this year there are mainly four main exhibitions. Main activities. Four main activities. So of course, the exhibition will start from the 8 until 10. We will be this time. We will be in Hall 6 in KLCC, Hall 6. Yeah. And we will also have the business matching from 8 to 10 in Hall 6 as well. Then we will have the international conference where there will be around more than 10 speakers and more than 10 topics as well that will be showcased during the conference in Hall 7. This is a conference, workshop and sharing forums during these events in Hall 7. And we also have some workshops by different exhibitors and different participating speakers as well. All right. So just a little bit to touch on this point that mentioned by Cairo and Paul just now. I think they have given us a very good pointers as a very experienced exhibitors exhibiting in all our franchise shows before this locally, or even going to the trade missions with the ministry all this while. Yeah. So I think we are a exhibition that is quite different from the rest of the exhibitions that you have been to. Those are B2C, where consumers will come in and buy products, buy samples and walk away happily. But this is a B2B business trade show. So it's a trade show where you actually showcase your business, you showcase your business system, your franchise systems. So like what Paul mentioned, you won't be able to close the deal there and there. They won't be paying you there. There will be durations of sales negotiation or franchise negotiations. You will have visits later, you have details, experience or details, explanation, going through documents, franchise agreement before you close the deal. So it is not a B2C. So for those first joiners, try to have this expectation in mind that you won't be able to collect money on the spot. Yeah, so this is a B2B platform. So apart from that, business matching that besides the organizers, which is MFA and also sponsored by the Kementerian, yeah, the ministry, we are promoting these events, highly promoting these events. I'll go to the promotions later in different platforms we have started. But I also urge every one of you, your own companies, your own marketing efforts to also start to promote that you will be there in KLCC Convention Center on the 8 to 10. If your prospective prospects or franchisee would like to visit you, they can actually visit you there. Start promoting that, start putting in your exhibitions, informations in your restaurants, in your retail shops, in your centers, yeah, that you will be there. So, or even your websites or social media. So that will be good, and not just nearer to the date. You can actually do starts now, yeah. Okay. So this will be the exhibition hall on hall 6. Yeah. So this year we have spaced out the hall where there will be one entrance and the exit point will be on a different door. So basically, we are trying to encourage the visitors. All the visitors will go through all the booths and visit all the booths, and they will not just go in and come out on the same entrance. So this is something that we are trying to build, that all the exposure of all the booth participants here. Yeah, so not just the one in front, but everybody, they will have an exposure for the visitors as well. Okay, so you can see there are some more booth that is not occupied yet, but I think the sales process is going on. After today, we will be also showcasing these events to different. Currently, all the events has been being promoted to every KPDN HDB office in different states, as well as all the market office in different countries that we have. Besides all the social media and also media exposure that we have. Yeah. So these are the list of exhibitors that's already confirmed. There are hundreds over of them. And these are you can see the exhibitors list here. Yeah, there are more than that now. We are adding on to this list every day. Okay, so these are the promotion channels that we are using for this time of FIM. We call it FIM in short, Franchise International Malaysia 2022. So we are going to social media, we are going to above the line, which is radio, TV, we are going to the print media and the new media such as the TikTok and all those LinkedIn advertisement. We are doing all this in different languages and different platforms. Yeah, so if you are looking into, if you have not signed up, you can actually still sign up later, and we even have sponsor booth. Sponsor booth is for you to have a bigger booth, to have a better visibility of your booth. You can also build your own booth, but we also provide coverage in terms of the media if you are a sponsor exhibitors. Yeah. So you can get more info of this via MFA with Aldin later if you are interested to convert or upgrade your current booth into a bigger booth. That is also possible. Okay, so just a little bit background. FIM or Franchise International Malaysia is always being endorsed by the Ministry of Trade, Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs, KPN HAP, and also the World Franchise Council, WFC, and also Asia Pacific Conference Confederations, where they have 45 countries members under this WFC and also APFC. We also have 46 markets officers around the world, which we are also getting the support from them to promote this event for us. So therefore, this year we are actually having around 10 countries, countries from different, we have, besides Malaysia, we also have around 9 to 10 other countries that will be exhibiting our FIM this year, right? So currently we have 100 over booths, 70 over close to 80 companies. Yeah, some companies will take up one or two booths. So at the moment, we still have some booth balance that we are going to offer to the industry players. So This year, a little bit background. Again, we have the food and beverage companies will take up about 39 of the booth currently. So the rest of the educations, services, health and beauty, retail also is in this exhibition list as well. So as I mentioned just now, one of the one-stop center for franchise business ecosystem be there for you to explore. All right, it is the right platform to achieve your various franchise plan through various franchise opportunities. It is a place where you can enhance your related franchise knowledge through the engagement that you can have with other exhibitors there. Yeah, so please go ahead and go around. So nobody is your enemy here in this franchise world. We are helping each other. We can even collaborate, joint effort to sell different brands. They can actually take it and share the same shop lot, half of the shop lot, different brands also possible. Yeah, those are the synergy that we have when you join all these efforts of franchise community. Yeah, so in terms of the booth, there are actually, if you know yourself that you are taking a shelf scheme. A shelf scheme means that the booth is already being built up for you, a basic one for you that you see in the screen now. This is called a shelf scheme. There is standard and also a junior scheme booth that you can take, and you already taken, yeah. Or you can actually have the raw space where there's nothing built up for you. You can take the 3x6 space and then you do your own build up. You can build up a mini Mary Brown or mini Old Town there, or mini centers, education centers there as a showcase or exhibition for your exhibitions. Yeah, so these are the two options that you have in terms of the exhibition space. Okay, so now I think for today's session, we are going to offer those that haven't actually signed up I think there's a discount, right? From the organizers, that if you sign up within 15 and 16 this month, which is next few days, there will be a 10% discount for you to take up the booth. All right, so I think before I end or before I close this session of engagement, I would just want to remind everyone, as we exhibitors here, that yeah, it is a good platform like what Paul and Cairo has mentioned for us to showcase our business or franchise opportunities. But be very clear with your objective of having this booth here in KLCC. You are trying to sell your franchise business and not so much on your individual products. You can do so, but we are not encouraging that. But at the end of the day, you are trying to sell your franchise business. So we also, as this is a B2B exhibitions, there will be some music around, background music, but we also don't encourage you to put in singing or dancing kind of activities, because over the years we experienced that will be a little bit of a disturbance in terms of when you talk to your potential franchisee or you are negotiating certain terms with them in a booth. It is quite noisy for the rest to be able to hear the negotiation going on. I think that is something that we have picked up over the years of exhibiting in different parts of the world, also in Malaysia. All right, so and also I also understand that just now Cairo also mentioned that yeah, put in a lot of effort, utmost effort to bring this event successful for your brand. Bring in your people to support, but when you bring in your people to support this business event in your booth, make sure they are being equipped with the very, very basic knowledge of your own brand. What is the package that you are offering? Because those are the things that you want to sell, and not just giving out brochures. Because the people that come to your exhibition booth are those people, those genuine ones, yeah. They have already made some research or studies before they come. Then they are probably just very focused and go to your booth directly, want to talk to you. But if you just tell them that I will keep your name card, I will call you back later, I think that is not very, good in terms of dealing with prospect like that. Yeah, so make sure you have your key person that understand the whole franchise package of your brand franchise systems so that you can actually talk to them properly. So don't make them wasting their effort to come to you, but you say you will call them back later. So I think those are the very basic thing, but we may have ignored that over the years. I think that is something that we need to tackle. Yeah. So I think thank you for the participating exhibitors, and also I think thank you for your efforts to join us in this morning sessions. I think I see the participants, all of you are still here from just now, from this morning 10 o'clock. So thank you so much. Thank you. Over to you, Terry.
All right, thank you, Mr. Derek, for the highlights and awesome information on the FIM 2022. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll continue with our Q&A sections. Therefore, once again, I would like to invite all the panel speakers, Mr. Cairo, Mr. Paul, and Mr. Derek with me. Okay, and yes, and Mr. Paul. Let me see Mr. Paul here. All right, so while we are waiting for the secretary to invite the rest of the panels, okay. All right, so actually we have received some questions, and also we have some question in the chat box. So if you have any question that you would like to ask any of our panels, you can post them in the chat box. So our panels, are you ready? Okay, so welcome back, and we have three gentlemen here. All right, so and okay, so let's start with the Q&A. Hi panels, are you ready?
So Derek, are you ready?
Already, okay. The first, okay, there's one audience would like to request, Mr. Paul, can you repeat your final 5 takeaway tips or notes?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for the light. So okay. The 5 question, the 5 final. The first one is how you serve that. It's very important. How you serve the person who received your book. That one is first. The second is the speed of response. When they make inquiry, what is your speed of response? That is very important. Okay, and it's a very strong impression. What kind of impression you're going to give to the prospect. The third thing will be the follow-up action. So after the inquiry, they exchange some information, and if let's say require follow-up, the follow action must be very timely and very fast. Okay. The fourth will be the unique selling point. So it's very important that you must always highlight what is your unique selling point. What are the attractiveness of your franchise? Why you sign up for my franchise? So your unique selling point is very important. That one is like your secret weapon. During the war, you must have a secret weapon. If you don't have a secret weapon, basically you can't win the war. Remember that during the exhibition, there's a lot of opportunity. Like Mr. Derek mentioned, they all did their study. They already do their research and study. So during the exhibition, tell them something that they do. I think it's very important. Okay, the last one, the final one, I think is quite important for those brand player or brand developer. Is your prospect will sometimes they will ask a question, why I want to use your brand. That is very important. Why I want to sign up, become your master franchise. or especially during you go to overseas exhibition in overseas. Then the local people will ask you, why I want to use a Malaysian brand. Okay. Then I can share with you how usually I answer this question. I always answer that, what is the point if you use a brand that without proven record? And when you use my brand, I have my proven record. So this one, as I mentioned before, everybody invests in the business, they are looking for ROI. You must be able to demonstrate that your brand is able to bring them the ROI rather than they use their own brand. That make the difference. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Paul. Thank you, Mr. Paul. And okay, we have another question from Casey Lee from Haruka Bakery. Any assistance from MFA for the first timer as exhibitor? Mr. Derek?
Hey, yes, Casey, I think this engagement session is one of the assistance that we are providing to you. That's why we invited all the experienced exhibitors to share their experience. And then, of course, after this session, you can also contact them or contact me as well to see what other things that you are not sure. We can always help you. If you are taking up a shell scheme kind of a booth, I think you need to have your basic information displayed there for people to know. You need to have, importantly, your package. What package are you selling during the exhibitions? Yeah, so those are the things. I'm not sure whether you are a franchisor or a licensor, but then those are the things you can actually check with us. We can actually share with you a little bit more detail after this.
Yes. So, Mr. Casey Lee, you may contact our secretariat. They are friendly. I believe they will provide you more information on that. All right. So there's another question for Mr. Paul. Okay, Masna from Boot Noodles. Mr. Paul, do you mind share what kind of acceptance weaknesses you share with your franchisee? You want me to repeat the question, Mr. Paul? You need to unmute, Mr. Paul. Yeah.
Okay.
You need me to repeat the question again?
Yeah, sure, please.
Okay, Mr. Paul, do you mind sharing what kind of acceptance weaknesses you share with your franchisee?
Acceptance of weaknesses.
Weaknesses, yes, that you share. I believe this question comes from when during your presentation, when your potential franchisee asks you, all right, so what is your weaknesses? All right, so maybe to the extent that you will share to your franchisee. I think, like you say, transparency is one of the key. Yeah. So maybe you can share a little bit, cooperate more a little bit on this.
Okay. So yeah, thank you for the question. So regarding the acceptance of the weaknesses, yeah, I think every franchise system, every master franchise, we have to accept that not a perfect system. I think there's only the most suitable system. There's no perfect system. There's only the most suitable system. Before you sign up any franchising, I think it's very important that either you sign up Laundry Bar or Global or Manhattan or Old Town. It's very important that before you sign up anything, you must know exactly what are the terms and conditions, what are the limitations. Because signing up the franchise means that you are engaging, become a family of the big brand. You are no longer just an individual player. So I believe that any problem or any weaknesses you are facing is good to highlight, negotiate, and talk. I believe that we must be already like a family. We talk like a family. So like how I handle my franchisee is always the same. Even though there is a rules, there's a regulation. As we as a franchisor, we always say that rule can be banned. You don't break the rule. You don't break the rule, but we ban the rule. Okay, it means there is a flexibility. There's always a flexibility, and I believe that what you need is more like a flexibility. So I guess that this one is always can talk as long as the rule is not being break. There's always can ban the rule.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Paul. All right, so we have another question here. I think this is suitable for Mr. Cairo. All right, Mr. Cairo. could you share some tips or ideas on what are the suitable campaign that we should undertake before any trade show?
All right. Okay. I think as we spoke earlier, like Mr. Derry or even Mr. Paul, every exhibition there is a purpose. So I believe that every company has already set their, their KPI and objective, what kind of ROI and all these things, right? So of course, when you invest in such 3 days platforms for you to showcase your proven franchise systems, all right? So I'm pretty much sure that you can add on more values into it, okay? Example, like what you mentioned from the question just now, Mr. Terry, talking about what kind of campaign and all these things. So we believe that this is like a yearly event, an annual event, right? So, and we can see there's many prospects, all the visitors, international, local, and all these things. So it is also good for you to showcase like what is the latest campaign. So it can be that what are the, the promotion that you are, promoting right now, okay, so that you can let people know that, okay, this is what we have done and all these things. So it's add value to your, to the visitors. And also you can also, instead of a campaign or any promotion, you can add on, but please do not forget, this is not B2C, it's B2B, but whatever content that you put into your, your exhibition booth and all these things, it has to be related back on the value that if someone invests in the business, this is a part of the support they will gain it. All right. So it same goes that you can showcase your latest design, your new ID, or maybe you diversify your business concept from the normal typical store to the more like select store or kiosk store or express concept and all these things. So this is also the best platform for you to showcase those things.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cairo. All right. I think this also related to you, this question, Ms. Cairo. All right, since Mary Brown is a big supporter for any FIM show. So the question is it worth to sponsor a show?
Okay, thanks for the questions. Actually, you see, the participation for every exhibition, especially when I'm talking about one of the biggest franchise shows in our countries, right? So I think the participation and also the contributions and support to the franchise event is our top priorities in our organizations. So even though, no matter how big and how large is your sponsorship, it's all about is again that how you want to get the more extra mileage. So it's also a good that, if you have a certain budget, in the, franchise marketing. So this is the right platform because I believe the secretary have done a very good job for many, many years before, how they can leverage in terms of the brand awareness of the brand. So the most important is we believe in presence marketing. We believe in the visibility of your brand. So this is the right platform. We know this is the channel and we value for it. For that reason, then we are doing some sponsors and all these things.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, thank you, Mr. Cairo. All right, there's one question coming from Mr. Faisal. Okay, this question is to Mr. Cairo and Mr. Paul. Can you share your experience of closing the deal with any of your international franchisees? Maybe some unique sharing that you would like to share. Maybe Mr. Paul, you can start first.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Thank you, Faisal, for the question.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, let me share about a little bit of my experience. Okay, so because we are actively participate in a lot of international events. So even though we are local brand, we are Malaysian brand, but we are proudly to expand our business into various countries. So and during the exhibition, you will see a lot of people, from their country. For example, let me share with you about in Thailand. Okay. So during in year 2018, when I visited the Thailand under this MFA event, so we went there to exhibit our product, our services, and of course, we meet a lot of people. They speak Thai. They thought I'm Thailand also, but I'm not. But even though I look at Thailand, but I'm not Thailand. I'm Malaysian. So, but of course, they ask question. So first of all, usually, like I mentioned, I sharing just now, all those inquiry must able to identify whether they want to become a franchisee or they want to become a master franchise. So by identify their background, you must know a bit of the background. So if you know their background, they are the big businessmen, then of course they won't become a franchisee. They want to become a master franchise. So in terms of they want to become master franchise, then you must able to, you must able to demonstrate what is the term and condition of the become a master franchise. Then what are the budget they required? What kind of services support from the HQ? And the agreement, the master franchise agreement is a must. That is very important. And of course, not everyone, they come to you, they become a good master franchise. Trust me, most of it, they are not. What they have is money. Cairo know a lot of this. So if you really want to get those people to be master franchise, you must really identify, they must really into your business. They must believe your story, believe your mission, and believe your vision. If they have too many of their own vision, that's very dangerous. They may create damage on your brand. So like how we handle, the way we handle is very straightforward. First of all, they must believe, they must understand, and they must know our business. They must be able to follow our rules that we set, the master franchise agreement that we set. So they must follow. And of course, after that, they must believe the ROI you're able to provide, those figures, those forecasts. They must believe your ROI. If they don't believe your ROI, I'm sorry, they won't sign up.
Yes.
If they believe your ROI, then they will. Another question is, they will still ask the question, why I want to use your brand. They will continue ask this question. So if you are the master franchise, remember, you must have something to tie them down. You must have something to tie them down so that they won't become another thing. So otherwise they will transform your brand, become another brand. So that's, you need to be careful. So like what we are doing, we are using technology to tie them down. So I believe that you must have these two before you want to expand overseas.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. Thank you, Mr. Paul. And Cairo, how about you?
Okay, I just want to add on top of what Mr. Paul has shared just now. Okay, when talking about international, I've got the question is based on internationals, right? So I think in 2018, during the FRM, I think Martrade has arranged a business matching. They bring those, selected international visitors for the trade missions and all those things. So we meet this particular group. So they already have a focus, right? So when they meet up with us, they know that actually they want to bring a halal fast food brand in the country. So that's where we actually identify our master franchisee for Sweden, and we open the stores in early 2020. So that is the thing that how. So I think I can share on the success story on this part, right? But you have to remember, when people are asking for international, or even you participate in any of international shows, right? There are all people were asking you, oh, I have this location. They will start with the location that what they have first. But have to remember, okay, when we're talking about master franchise, we have to first to confirm the candidates as a franchisee first. If they are not qualified, we don't talk about the locations, right? So once they already confirm, they agree with all the terms, especially when you go for international, you add more terms, for example, the territory rights, so on and so forth. So you have to tailor-make, you have to tell us about what is the business development plan schedule. That's how basically you're gonna come up with a letter offer. They have to accept it. Then only we talk about the location. So it's not like, one time they will definitely share with you in all this. So don't get excited when people try to introduce you the location and all this thing, because first, whether they are the right candidates, that's the most important thing.
Thank you, Mr. Cairo. And okay, there's one question from Stephen Tan from Miri Sarawak. And yes, basically your question is not related to the program here, but it's okay. I think we are more than happy to answer that. So Mr. Stephen Tan question is how to register as a brand, as a franchise business. Should we look for a franchise consultant? Who is your recommended franchise consultant? And hopefully my question is related to this meeting. And Mr. Derek.
Okay, Stephen, if you already have a brand, so you can actually come to MFA to talk to our secretariat about how to go about it. But basically, if you already have your basic SOP or your manual is in place, actually you do not need a consultant. You just need to do the registrations in the Bahagian Pembangunan Franchise in the Kementerian Perdagangan Dalam Negeri dan Tawar Pengguna, KPDN HEP. There's a platform called My my facts that you can actually register your brands as a franchise brand, franchisor brand, become a franchisor in that platform. So from there, then you can actually, if there's anything not enough, then probably you need to get it done before you can actually being awarded a franchise license. So basically, first step, you should explore talking to MFA. The secretariat is very experienced to lead you to see what you have at the moment and what you don't have before you even decide want to engage any consultant or not. Yeah, so I hope I answer your question.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Derek. And okay, there's one question. Do you calculate the ROI between the cost of participating a trade show and media advertisement coverage? Mr. Cairo, do you do that? Do you calculate the ROI between the cost of participating? Yes.
Definitely, yes, because every shows we have a certain budget. So how basically you work within the budget, that's number one. And of course, when you come in, I can share with you normally that for the best space, location, with all you add in together for the, how you build the booth and everything, so right? So easily average you spend around at least 50 to 60 over 1,000 for each shows, right? So from there, then you calculate based on what kind of things that you will get it from the shows. Of course, it's from your own internal things, how you market the entire shows to bring more leads and all these things. And we can see actually, as what I mentioned earlier, right? So the numbers of those leads that you can convert as a franchise is number one. That's how you calculate back your ROI, okay? So easily for us, it's bounced back on what kind of investment, all right? I'm pretty much sure if the investment of the company or franchise brands, like, your setup costs about 100,000 or 200,000, easily you need at least to closely about 5 or 6, franchisees for the particular shows, So, but for us, because our investment is like 1 million per investment, so even like we can close one deal, so it's good enough for us to cover the entire thing, yeah?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cairo. Okay. Okay. One more last question. All right. I think this one quite interesting, and okay, I think this should be answered by the both panels. How do you compete with other similar business in a trade show?
How do you compete, right?
Yes.
First of all, I think I don't compete any one of gentlemen here that Derek or Mr. Paul. But yes, I think this is something like whenever you open your stores in the shopping mall or anywhere, the same goes to exhibition. It's bounced back on how you want to be stand out. All right.
Yes.
So I would like to say is something just to share a tip. All right. The uniformity and how you carry the brand is very important. Start from the people that made the booth, how they wear it, what kind of uniform. The uniformity is very important. That show, especially when you're running a chain. So when the people drop by to your booth, when they see all your people are wearing the same uniform and all this, so it shows that how professional you are. And this is something that to reflect back that how you're running a chain, these are the things, the first impression of what to get it, right? And of course, what kind of content you need to add in and all those things. So this is most important, right?
Okay. Mr. Paul, any tips on this? How to compete yourself, or do you compete yourself with similar industry in the trade show?
Actually, basically, we don't really like compare to other, because I believe that every brand had their own strength.
Yes.
So
Yes.
recognizing that every competitors they have their own unique selling point. So,
Yes.
but of course, like Mr. Cairo mentioned just now, the appearance and the design of the booth will provide additional point. So that's why we don't really cut the budget on the booth. Try to make your booth look attractive and nicer. That will be added very much point to your.
Nice. Thank you, Mr. Paul. Derek, do you have any opinion on this? Since you are the vice chairman and the key person for this FIM 2022, any opinion?
Yeah, I think Paul and Cairo mentioned it very correctly. We don't compete with other brands. You have to compete with yourself. In fact, compete with yourself, know what you are trying to sell, and just learn from the rest. I think in a business environment in Malaysia, we are so small. We are actually very small. If you walk up to an international trade show, you can see Malaysia Pavilion is actually just a very small part of the exhibition. There are many other international brands out there that will come in to compete with us if they come into Malaysian market. So if we ourselves as Malaysia brand want to compete with each other, you can do so by a healthy competition, make yourself even better, learn from the rest, why are they doing better than you? So that I think that is a very much healthier progression that you should have.
Yes, healthy competition is the key. Okay, last question, all right? What is the right question to ask to your potential? The last advice. Mr. Cairo, what is the best or right question to ask?
How much you have in your account?
I know you're going to say this.
Actually, first of all, to us is as a franchisor, all of you guys, you are franchisors, right? So we know what is a support that we're going to give to our franchisees. But what we need from the franchisees, only three. Number one, they need to have the entrepreneur spirit and have patience with the brand, right? Number two, they need to have the capital to start the business. And number three, they need to have people for us to transfer the know-how. The rest, leave it to the franchisors, right? So these are the things. If they have these three, go ahead.
Good. Thanks. Thank you, Mr. Cairo. Mr. Paul?
Yeah, usually we will ask on top of what Cairo opinion, our marketing team will ask this question. So we want to, let's say they want to sign our franchise, we will ask them whether you want to go for cash or you want to go for loan.
Okay.
Okay. If let's say you want to go for cash, wow, grade A customer. Okay. If let's say they want to go for loan, then we say we can provide like Pernas lah, like all kind of facility.
Yes. Yes.
We don't
Thank you, Mr. Paul.
We try our best to support.
Yes. So one advice is go for the patience, the requirement, and one is go for the financial part. All right. That's a very good tips. Thank you so much, Mr. Paul, Mr. Cairo, and Mr. Derek. And if there's no more question, and we're going to end this Q&A sections, and we hope all the questions and answer that we take is helped all of us here in growing the business. So ladies and gentlemen, we are reaching the end of the event, but before that, we would like to request for your cooperation to on your camera for a few seconds for the photo section. So Secretariat, please get ready.
Okay, one moment, yeah.
So everyone put a big smile on the screen.
Now I see more people. Thanks for attending this engagement.
Yes.
Is someone gonna count to 3 or something? No.
Okay, let me do it. So, okay, everyone, please on your camera. So on my mark, I count to 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
So just allow to have a few more pages because we
Yes.
can't fit everyone to one.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Carol. So please tell me when you are ready, Mr. Ray.
Okay, we done.
Okay, done. Okay, we are done here. So on behalf of Malaysian Franchise Association, I would like to thank you everyone who attended this MFA engagement sections, and to our Mr. Cairo, Mr. Paul, and Mr. Derek. Thank you for your time, your sharing for our sections. And I would like to apologize if there's any mistakes or error throughout my hosting of this program. And we hope the information and tips that we share today could benefit you to go further, and see you again in other programs. Goodbye, stay safe, and good luck.
Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Thank you.
I'm begging you to put your loving hand out, baby. I'm begging you to put your loving hand out, darling. Riding high when I was king, I played it hard and fast, I walked away. You want me then, but easy come and easy go, and it wouldn't. So anytime I bleed, you let me go. Yeah, anytime I feel, you got me. No, anytime I see, you let me know. But the plan and see, just let me go. I'm on my knees when I'm begging, 'cause I don't wanna lose you. Hey, yeah, ra-da-da-da, 'cause I'm begging, begging you. Put your love in the hand now, baby. I'm begging, begging you. And put your love in the hand now, darling. I need you to understand. Try so hard to be your man, the kind of man you want in the end. Only then can I begin to live again. An empty shell I used to be. The shadow all my life was dragging over me. A broken man that I don't know. Won't even stand, that never stands to be my soul. Why we're chilling, why we're chasing, why the bottom, why the basement, why we got good, she don't embrace it. Why the feel for the need to replace me? You're the wrong way, trying to be good. I went up in the feature, telling where we could be at. Like a heart in the best way, shit. You can give it away, you have, and you took the bait. But I keep walking on, keep opening the door, keep open for that the door is yours, keep also home. 'Cause I'm the one that live in a broken home, girl, I'm begging. Yeah, yeah, I'm begging, begging you. So put your love in the hand now, baby. I'm begging, begging you. So put your love in the hand now, darling. I'm finding hard to hold my own. Just can't make it all alone. I'm holding on, I can't fall back. I'm just a call, but your face is black. I'm begging, begging you. Put your loving hand out, baby. I'm begging, begging you. So put your loving hand out, darling. I'm begging, begging you. So put your loving hand out, baby. I'm begging, begging you. So put your loving hand out, darling. I'm begging, begging you. So put your loving hand out, baby. I'm begging, begging you. So put your loving hand out.